So for spring break, some friends of ours did the nicest thing. They rented this beautiful cabin in Broken Bow and invited us to go with them. I don't know what it is about Broken Bow, but every cabin I've stayed in there is just truly, utterly perfect. There are big, beautiful trees everywhere, the kinds that make you want to be outside and just stand still and just be still. You can almost always spot deer in the mornings. And the patios of all these cabins are amazing, like huge wraparound decks that make you feel like you're tucked right into the woods. I knew that I needed it, but here's what I did instead. I packed my laptop. I told myself, it's fine. If I happen to have free time, I'll just keep up with a few things so I don't fall behind. No big deal. That sounds reasonable, right? Except we all know how that story goes. So we get there and it's beautiful. The kids are happy for the most part. They are young children. The weather is perfect and we're doing all the fun things, the slow things, the lunches out, putt putt that was unnecessarily expensive, mazes. And part of me really was soaking it all in, the laughter, the slower pace, the fresh air. But the other part of me was restless, itchy, even. My brain was still in go mode. I kept thinking about emails, course ideas, projects, everything waiting for me back home, all the stuff that I should be working on. Then one night, when the kids finally had gone to bed early because they had stayed up super late the nights before and were totally wiped out from being out in the sun all day, I saw it. This beautiful pocket of time where no one needed me. And what did I do? I grabbed my laptop. My husband looked at me and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I just need to get this one thing done. It's not going to take very long. I can sit here with you guys and do it while we're hanging out." So there we are in this gorgeous living room, huge windows, soft light, sun setting. Our friends are sitting on the couch with us. We're talking, and I'm half listening while typing away. It didn't take long, all in all, maybe 20, 30 minutes. But the whole time I was there and not there. And then the next morning, I woke up early again because, of course, I did. I love this place. And before anyone else stirred, I opened that laptop again. I told myself, this is fine. Everyone's still asleep. I'm not bothering anyone by doing this. But what I was really doing was robbing myself of the one thing I said I wanted and I knew I needed: rest. Even on our drive home, I was still talking about work. I was pitching ideas to my husband, problem solving, like my brain just could not stop producing. And somewhere on that drive back, it hit me. Nothing about that trip went wrong, except that I never actually let myself stop working. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was somehow falling behind by resting. I was so afraid of losing momentum that I forgot to be present. I ended the vacation early for myself and likely my husband, not on purpose, but because my brain just like wouldn't shut off. And the truth is, I think a lot of us do this. We say we want rest, but we treat it like it's a luxury, something we'll get to after the next round of work or the next project is done. So if you've ever tried to rest but felt guilty the whole time, this do over is for you.
You're managing what you always do, but your brain feels scattered and you just can't seem to pull it together. The Busy Brain Do-Over from Steady State Co. is your space to recover, reset, and restart, proud of how you show up again. Because you're not the problem, and you're not alone. Here, you'll find real tools and honest conversations to help you feel capable, steady, and like yourself again. Here's your host, Candace David, a fellow busy brain who believes life doesn't have to run perfectly to run well.
Here's the truth. For most high-capacity women, rest doesn't actually feel restful at first. It feels wrong. When you've built your sense of safety and worth around being reliable, productive, and capable, stillness can feel like failure. Your body is sitting, but your brain is panicking. Should I be doing something right now? Am I wasting time? What if I lose my momentum? What if somebody else gets ahead? Now, some of you listening might be thinking, okay, Candace, calm down. That's a little extreme. I don't actually believe my self worth depends on how productive I am. Let's be real. And that might be true, at least on the surface. Here's the thing, most of us are a lot worse at resting than we realize. We may not say those exact words out loud, but they still show up in quieter ways. The restlessness, the guilt that you're not doing enough, the fear that you'll pay for it later, the need to finish just one more thing before we can relax. So if part of you wants to write off what I'm saying because it sounds a little too intense, pause and ask yourself, where do I see myself in this story? We all have those unspoken thoughts that we'd be shocked to hear out loud. That's what makes this work so powerful. When you can name those hidden scripts, you can start rewriting them. And here's the sneaky part. Our culture rewards those hidden scripts. People say, I don't know how you do it all. You're amazing. How on earth are you doing all this stuff? And we take that as proof that maybe the exhaustion we're feeling is worth it. That's how we're supposed to be and live and function every day. But it's not. Because here's what's really happening. Your brain isn't addicted to achievement. It's addicted to relief. When you check a task off the list, your brain gets a quick hit of calm. But the second you slow down, that calm fades, and your brain goes searching for the next thing that will make the discomfort go away. That's not discipline. That's living in survival mode. So when you finally get the chance to rest and it feels uncomfortable, it's not because you're bad at resting. It's because your body doesn't trust that the world will stay okay if you do. Which is why this week's do-over isn't about scheduling rest. It's about retraining your brain to believe that rest is safe. Hi, fellow busy brains. If this episode already feels a little too relatable, make sure you're following the show so your next do-over is waiting for you when you need it. And if you're already part of this community, thank you. Truly, you are the reason more people are realizing they're not broken, their brains are just a little busy. Hit follow so you don't miss the next do-over we'll do together. All right, let's talk about what to actually do when you get a moment to rest and it feels wrong. And I know this episode is landing right before Thanksgiving, that stretch where everyone is sprinting to get things wrapped up so that we can finally slow down. But for a lot of us, if we're honest with ourselves, That upcoming rest is already making us restless. So, this week's do over isn't about adding new rituals or building the perfect rest routine. It's a simple 3-step reset that helps your brain believe pausing is safe again. Step 1, pause on purpose. When you notice that familiar urge to grab your phone, open your laptop, or start a quick project in a quiet moment or lull, don't judge it. Name it. Say out loud, I'm feeling that itch to fill the space. Then ask yourself, what's the hidden script I'm following? What emotion am I trying to avoid? Naming it breaks the autopilot. It gives you a moment of agency, a chance to choose differently. Step 2, ground in the present. Do something small that reminds your body it's okay to be still. Take one deep breath and feel your feet on the floor. Step outside for 60 seconds and notice the air, the temperature. Sip something cold and actually taste it. Every time you do this, you're teaching your body what calm feels like again. Step 3, choose ease, not empty. Rest doesn't have to look like lying perfectly still, doing absolutely nothing, or shutting the world out. That's what a lot of us picture when we think about rest: total silence, zero motion, maybe even boredom. And honestly, that kind of nothingness can feel uncomfortable, even threatening to a busy brain. Ease, on the other hand, is different. Ease means lowering the pressure, not erasing the moment. It's giving yourself permission to do simple things without a hidden agenda, things that calm your nervous system instead of stimulating it. So instead of scrolling or tackling a productive project, you could sip slow coffee on the porch if you happen to like coffee. Listen to music while you fold laundry. Take a quiet drive with no podcast playing. The goal isn't nothingness, it's ease. Ease is about presence without performance. And when guilt shows up, because it will, talk back gently. Be kind to your mind. Say, nothing's falling apart. This moment is allowed to be easy. That's a do over for this week, especially as you head into a season that tells you to do and give and go nonstop. You don't have to earn the break. You do have to take it. Here's your permission slip for this week. You don't have to finish everything before you rest. You don't have to earn your break. Rest isn't proof that you've done enough. It's how you remind your body that you already are enough. And since this episode is coming out right before Thanksgiving, here's your preemptive do-over. Give yourself permission to slow down before the rush. Take tiny breaks now, so rest doesn't feel foreign when next week finally arrives. Maybe that's a full breath before you start the next list, or a single evening without multitasking. Rest doesn't make you unproductive. It makes you human again. It reminds you of your limits and needs, and it gives you space to meet them with kindness. You are allowed to be a human, a tired, breathing, beautifully limited human who needs care as much as she gives it. Rest isn't weakness, It's the pause that lets you hear yourself again. And that's what this do over really is. Not checking out, but coming back home to yourself. Because you don't have to do more to deserve rest. You just have to remember that you're allowed to have it. If this episode helped you breathe a little easier, would you share it with someone who needs a do over too? You never know, your quick text might be the reminder she needs to rest this week. If you're curious to know what type of busy brain you have, visit mybusybrain.com/quiz to take the quick Which Type of Busy Brain Am I quiz and learn which busy brain type fits you best, along with a few practical tips for how to work with your brain instead of against it. That's mybusybrain.com/quiz. All right, my fellow busy brain friends, take a breath, give yourself a little grace, and remember, you can always start again. That's what a do-over really is. Not perfection, just permission. Talk soon.